Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game and the Cosmic Encounter Power Showdown part. Oh, I want to say we're on 17 now. Anyways, it's the top 32, part 2. We will be down to 16 after this. So, our first matchup, Insect versus Assistant. Now, Assistant here, nice yellow power. Definitely looks like they've got all kinds of things organized. Insect, I really don't know what to make of that. Really looks like art that's derived from Pacifist. So, at least to kick things off, if I can get to the right bracket, I'm giving the artwork point to Assistant. Now, let's jump to power text. Assistant's power text, you have the power to be helpful. As a main player or an ally after alliances are formed, but before encounter cards are selected, use this power. If there are any other players on your side of the encounter, give one of them a help card from your Essence card cache to one of those players. Give one help card to one of those players. Gain a reward. Player who has been given a help card can keep it face up or face down and look at it. Other players may give their help cards back to you per the timing on the help card. When they do, use this power to provide the help as instructed. Anyways, you're giving out help. Insect, after a main player plays and resolves a flare, you may use this power to either discard a flare from your hand of the alien not in the game, or if you have no such flares in your hand, draw and discard a flare from the unused flare deck. If that flare's alien does not have game setup text and is allowed in the game, you become that power for a bit. So, both interesting powers, but I really like the help that Assistant brings. So Assistant here, very much in play. Timing window. They both have incredible timing windows. As any player, any phase, the only difference is Insect is optional, Assistant's mandatory, and in every situation, optional trumps mandatory. So we're going that way. Let's compare flavor text, shall we? Assistant's flavor text. Mastering the art of obscurity, the assistants seem to be omnipresent relentlessly. Their inferior status is a veil from which they now quietly acquire a vast array of unnoticed resources. Pretty good. Insect. The short-lived insects rapidly adapt to match the strengths of any opponent. They believe that their ability to metamorphose, yeah, there we go, and copy any ecological innovation will lead to ultimate control of the cosmos. I don't know. Both are pretty good. I mean, I stumbled through insects. But I like what Insect brings to the table there. We're going to have to go to flares. Let's look at the wilds. The Assistant wild is you may recolonize one of your home planets using one or more of your ships in the warp. Give this flare to the Assistant after use. That's okay. Insects wild is a main player after you lose an encounter, discard your hand and draw a new one. Return this card to your new hand. That's definitely better. And Insect, don't call it a comeback, is here, tied up 3-3, and we go to supers. The Insect Super, when you use your power, you can choose to draw and discard a flare from the unused flare deck, even if you have a flare in your hand. So you can gamble on the power you're going to get. The Assistant Super, when a help card is returned to you, you may immediately discard a card from your Essence card cache and replace it with the returned card. And that's just better. Certainty is better than chance, in my mind. Both good powers. Both overall well-rounded. Hey, that's why they're in the round of 32. But Assistant is going to move on here. Okay. Next up, we have Doppelganger versus Lizard. Well, here's the artwork I have for Lizard. I don't currently have artwork for Doppelganger, but it's better than this. So, with that, Doppelganger is getting the artwork point. And we will then move on to powers. So, Doppelganger. You have the power to haunt as main player before encounter cards are selected. Use this power to discard all encounter cards in your hand. Haunt one player except your opponent. That player gives you 2 encounter cards of different types from their hand, or 1 if holding only one type. They have to be their highest attack card and anything else. Could be a negotiate, could be a retreat, could be the morph, etc. So that's Doppelganger. Lizard has gets 20 extra ships. They're converting these ships. Converted ships are bonus on attacks, but when you send in your regular ships and you win, they convert to the new ships. So you're trying to shed to be a new skin. And if you get all your ships turned into your new color of ships, you win the game. It's an interesting power. I really like both. I like Lizard's power a bit more. Doppelganger, you are taking really good cards out of player's hand, and you're getting knowledge because you know what their highest encounter card is, or highest attack card is. That's a very potent power. But it's tricky. They both have limited timing windows, but Lizard... Lizard can win. No, it's only as a main player. Yeah, Lizard's main player, Doppelganger's main player. Neither gets a point for timing window. Or they both get a point for timing window. We'll just go with that. They're the same. Flavor text. Lizard. The lizard's life cycle compromises metamorphic stages, not unlike those of other sentient reptiles. Due to their world's proximity to a neutron star, however, they have developed an additional hypermetamorphism that is triggered only by extreme adrenal overload. Finding battle victories to be effective activation events, the lizards now seek physical perfection through conquest. And Doppelganger. Haunting its cosmic colleagues, the doppelganger often gets the better of them. Each encounter leaves its jittery victim with the feeling that there is more to every passing shadow than meets the eye. Ugh. I like it. I like it better. Okay. And with that, we have evened things up, and we're going to flares, and we may have a tie. Well, let's see. Doppelganger Wild. If you are not a main player during the alliance phase, you may set your hand aside and take the hand of one player who has a colony in your system. If you take the offensive hand, they draw a new one. At the end of the encounter, give your hand to that player and take back the hand you set aside. That's kind of nice. Just take somebody's hand. The Lizard Wild is a main player or ally. After your side reveals an attack card, you may either double the value of all reinforcements you play after this flare, or add 1 to the multiplier of a kicker you reveal as a main player. I gotta give that one to steal somebody's hand. That's just cooler. Let's look at supers. Lizard, when using your power, you may also morph 2 of your normal ships that are not involved in the encounter. Well, that's certainly going to help you win the game faster. Doppelganger Super. When using your power, you may also force any player other than your opponent to give you any 2 non-encounter cards from their hand, or 1 if they only have 1, which you keep. Which is nice, right? Nice way to get some flares or artifacts in the game. But Lizard gets the power on the super. And we have a tie. And with tie is going to the power text power. So Lizard's going to win this thing. 4-5. I don't like it. I don't like that there was a tie, but there was literally no difference in the timing window. Other than Doppelganger can get a hand in a couple of different times, but they're both main player. That's it. Okay. Yeah, we're going to move on. Winner versus the Colt. Well, let's reset here. Winner and the Colt. Let's just go into powers here. Winner. You have the power to win more as a main player after both players reveal attack cards and you win the encounter by 10 or more. Use this power to immediately gain 1 free colony on the other system. Or, in any system. Which is good, right? Very good. It's rare that you're going to be winning by 10 or more. But, it exists. Colt, right? The Colt. There we go. Colt has this ability to bring people in and very long, convoluted power. I like Colt. But there's just no. I'm gonna stick with Colt. Colt is better. Let's go flavor text here. Colt. Once a religious retreat, the Colt is now expanding their fervor to other cosmic systems. Winner. Winner. From the time their ancestors crawled out of the crystal blue sea on a paradisical world under a particularly lucky sun, the winners have always been incredibly fortunate. Random factors have a bizarre tendency to go their way, and the stars always seem to shine down just a little bit brighter on them. Now, as they casually sail out into the cosmos under a favorable solar wind, they know that they will soon take their place as the rulers of the universe. After all, they are winners. It's what they do. I don't like either of those flavor texts. Winner seems a little bit more like it was written by a winner. I'll go with that. Colt does have a better timing window, though. We'll go flares. Winner Wild. At the start of your turn, gain a free colony on a planet of your choice in any system. Afterwards, give this flare to the winner. If they're playing, otherwise discard it. That's pretty good Wild. That is tough to compete against. The Colt Wild is main player. After encounter cards are selected before they're revealed, you may play this flare. All of your ships on foreign colonies in the opponent's system count towards your total, but will not be lost to the warp if you lose the encounter. Nice, but I don't know how you can compete with getting a foreign colony. Super. The Colt Super. You may cancel another player's attempt to renounce the Colt, keeping everyone around, which is useful. Winner Super. When using your power, you receive a free colony for each set of 10, rounded down. You win the encounter by. I'm giving that to Winner. And artwork's going to determine this one. All right. So, Cosmic Encounter Winner. Right. I don't know. Does that feel a lot like a winner? And I'm going to guess the Colt is not even on the search because it's from Eons, and that's just going to not be a good fit. Well, this guy definitely does not feel like a winner, and the Colt's got to be better than that. So, the Colt's moving on. And that's unsatisfactory to me. But I'm moving the Colt forward. All right. Remora versus the Claw. Remora and the Claw. Okay, we're gonna start with artwork this time because I don't want that deciding everything at the end. The Claw. Say this feels like a claw. Right? That's like, yeah, that's a claw. Capturing the Leviathan of all things. That's the Claw. Remora. Probably a better picture for Butler, if I'm being honest. That would have made a better Butler picture. Um, doesn't really feel like that's clinging on to anything. Yeah, the Claw's taking the artwork point. Okay, let's get to power text here. Remora. Whenever another player gets a ship from the warp, you get one. Whenever somebody draws a card from the deck, you draw one. Pretty straightforward. The Claw. You put a non-negotiate card face down. Other players can't look at it. Once per encounter, when another player plays a copy of the card you've chosen, use this power to reveal your Claw. Then you choose a planet in that player's home system, move it to your home system, sending any ships on it to the warp. Each stolen planet in your home system counts as a foreign colony towards your win, even if it's inhabited by other players. If you gain a colony on a stolen planet in your home system, that colony counts as a home colony for you, not a foreign colony. I don't know why you would ever do that. Remora is very good. It's a very, very good power. Because you're always getting stuff. You're always getting ships back. You're always getting more cards. The Claw can help you win the game, but it can also not. It all comes down to luck. So, Remora, consistency, and consistency is going to win here. Let's look at flavor text. The Claw. Recently, entire planets have gone missing, leaving behind only orphaned, desolate moons, one of which was marred by enormous claw marks. Oh, that's good. That's going to be tough to beat. Remora, the universe's original tagalongs, the Remoras first reach space as the valued servants of the dominant race on their homeworlds. Seldom accomplishing anything for themselves, the Remoras simply make themselves useful to others, and then ride their coattails to victory. Although other races might chide them for a lack of drive, the Remoras simply wonder why they should give up a good thing. Both are good. The Claws is better. Remora does have a better timing window, though. That works all the time. Claw very specific. So we go to flares. Remora Wild. When another player uses a super or wild flare, you may draw a card from the deck. Very good. I like that one. The Claw. The Claw Wild is a main player or an ally. If both revealed encounter cards are attack cards of the same value, your side automatically wins the encounter. And who am I to argue with? Your side automatically wins. The Claw Super. You may use your power anytime two main players reveal identical encounter cards. When this happens, choose which main player to steal a planet from. Your opponent if you are a main player. You may still only activate your alien power once per encounter. Still very luck-based, but it gives you a few more options. Remora Super. When another player gains a colony, you may either draw a card from the deck or retrieve a ship from the warp. If multiple players gain colonies at once, draw a card or retrieve a ship for each. I'm going to give it to Remora. Again, they're both good supers. Remora's feels more useful. The Claw, how many times are both people really revealing the same card? It doesn't happen much. I guess it can happen when it negotiates, but again, that's not that frequent. It happens a little bit early. So I guess if you're real lucky to get it early, it's going to work, but not much. Okay. Pacifist versus human. Oh, I could probably do this matchup in my sleep. With just about everything. Pacifist, cool artwork. Human, cooler artwork. Pacifist super, or not super, flavor text. No, power text. You play negotiate, you win. Unless you're opposed by a negotiate, in which case you're in a deal. Human, +4. But if you're cosmic zapped, your side automatically wins. I like making better use of negotiates. It's just better. Timing window. Pacifist is main player only. Human works also as an ally. So we're going that way. Let's go to wilds. Pacifist wild. As a main player, after you reveal a negotiate card and your opponent reveals an attack card, you may change your negotiate into an attack 15. That's very useful. Human wild. As a main player, if your opponent is not the human, you may use this flare after encounter cards are revealed to change your encounter card into an attack 42 and then give this flare to the human. If the human's not playing, discard this flare to use it instead. Human wild, a bit better. We go superhuman. You may cause your power to add 8 to your side's total instead of 4. Also, you may discard this flare to zap your power. That's pretty good. Pacifist super. When you fail to make a deal, you may lose 2 fewer ships to the warp when forcing your opponent to lose 2 extra ships to the warp. I hate to say it. Human super is better. But I am going to change and give the wild to the pacifist. Consistency over a one-time use. And I want flavor text to determine this matchup. Yeah. Yell at me in the comments. It's fine. Pacifist history. A simple but ungainly race, the pacifists long ago learned how to turn the power of an opponent against him. Always ready to demonstrate the superiority of retreat in unbalancing an aggressor, the pacifists now seek to bring the universe to its knees by yielding at just the right moment. Human. Warlike and fairly dim by cosmic standards, humans are not seen as much of a threat. However, exposing a human to cosmic energy can unlock strange and awesome powers. General consensus among the other races is that this is a course of action that is to be avoided. Yeah, I'm giving that one to human. So, as much as I love pacifist, and I do, I love the power, human for all the overall quantities here wins. Okay. We got 3 left here. Demon alternate timeline versus ghoul. Now, we can pull up some artwork. And we can actually compare art here. That definitely looks ghoulish to me. Yeah. That also looks demonic, and the fact that you've converted the loser to be demonic with you is just the icing on the cake for me. So, in this ghoul versus demon alternate timeline, we're giving that point to demon. For power text, ghoul. Ghoul is the main player. After they win, they use their power. For each opposing ship sent to the warp, they receive 1 defender reward. Either retrieve 1 of your ships from the warp or draw 1 card from the deck. So, useful. Useful power. Demon alternate timeline has the power to dominate. If you're not a main player or an ally, after encounter cards are selected before they're revealed, you may use this power to discard an attack card from your hand after encounter cards are revealed. If your card is lower than both revealed attack cards, each main player sends one of your ships to the warp from any of your colonies. If your card's higher than a main player's revealed attack card, you may dominate ships of that player's allies. After the outcome is determined, you may take up to 4 of your ships from one of your colonies and use them to replace any of those allies' ships in the encounter on a 1-for-1 basis. Before those ships land on the planet or their owners gain rewards, dominated ships are captured and placed on this sheet. Then the encounter is completed normally. After you draw a new hand, send all ships on this sheet to the warp and gain 1 reward for each player whose ships were on your sheet. Yeah. So Ghoul kind of has this consistent stream if they can win. Demon has this kind of start-stop stream of rewards. And they have to have good cards in order to get rewards. It's a weird trade-off. I think I like Ghoul just a little bit better. Ghoul also has the better timing window because Demon's timing window is terrible. It's not a main player or an ally. 1 phase only. It is optional. Ghoul is only as a main player. It's 1 phase only. They're both pretty bad timing windows. Demons might actually be a better timing window now that I'm looking at it. It is. You can choose not to be an ally. That's the difference. Let's go to flavor text. Ghoul flavor text. Haunting the edge of battlefields and devouring the losers to sate their endless hunger. The ghouls are greatly feared throughout the universe, particularly by those aliens that normally attack en masse. More subtle tactics are required against the ghouls, lest they emerge from battle stronger than ever. And for Demon, the opportunistic demons seek to sap the will to win out of any whom they encounter. The molten homeworlds of their original galaxy will be reclaimed in the name of vengeance. I'm giving that one to Ghoul. I like both. Ghoul paints a better picture. Okay, let's go wild. Ghoul Wild. After you win an encounter as a main player, you receive 1 defender reward for every player that opposed you in the encounter. Not bad. I mean, nice to get a little bit of an extra reward. Demon Wild, when a player is about to take compensation from another player, you may force that player to take compensation from you instead, and then you take compensation from the original targeted player. I like it. You can have my junk. I want the good stuff from their hand. I'll give that one to Demon. I think that's a more interesting flair. Let's go supers. Ghoul, you may use your power as an offensive ally. That definitely makes you a good ally invite. And people then do not want to ally on defense. So you got that. Demon Super, you can use your power as an ally. You cannot have more than your normal limit of ships in the encounter after dominating ships. That's a trade-off. Both intriguing. I feel like Ghoul is just that touch better. Plus, Ghoul doesn't make me run away and go, oh, you're kicking me out of the game. Ghoul kind of takes the fun, keeps it being a little bit fun, whereas Demon sucks the fun out of the game. The alternate timeline does it better. Don't get me wrong, does it better, but Ghoul gonna move forward here. Okay, last 2 here. Nightmare versus Philanthropist. And just knowing my artwork, Philanthropist's artwork is not great. So, Nightmare moves on the artwork, or takes the artwork point. And we've also established Nightmare's power is brutal. You have the power of bad dreams. You can give them a bad dream essence card, and these essence cards just fundamentally shape the game. I just Philanthropist can't compete with that. This is going to be brutal. That being said, Nightmare only does work when a main player has declined to invite you to ally. Or when another player's on the winning side and you're on the losing side. Philanthropist does have a better timing window because it's consistent. Every time they're involved, they get to do their thing. So this is where maybe a little bit of comeback happens. Nightmare's history. There are known things we know and unknowns, meaning things we know we don't know, and unknown knowns, things we are ignorant of not knowing, found in a journal on a backwater planet. Yeah, sounds a little Lovecraftian. A philanthropist's history. Rejecting a heavy-handed, dogmatic religious background, the cynical philanthropists have learned to parody greed itself. Knowing that the universe cannot bring itself to reject a gift, even when it is no present, the race has grown cunning in the art of self-serving charity. There's no charity like self-serving charity. It's the best kind of philanthropy in Cosmic, not in real life. Real life, do charity because it's just good. Philanthropist Wild. At the start of an encounter, you may send one of your ships to the warp to lend your power to another player for the duration of the encounter. Until the end of the encounter, that player is considered to have your power instead of their own. That player may not refuse the loan of your power. And that can be for good reason, or it can be for bad reasons, right? You can use that strategically to not have something like Nightmare or Inferno or another really strong virus machine be in the game. Or you can say, hey, my really good power, I want you to borrow it because you've invited me as an ally and we're going to work together. Yeah. Nightmare Wild. When another player is establishing a colony on any planet, you may declare it to be a bad dream. Choose an empty planet or any planet where that player already has a colony. The ships land on that planet instead. Give this flare to the Nightmare after use. Ooh. That's also good. Those are two really good wilds, but I'm giving it to Philanthropist. Nightmare Super. When using your power to give a player a bad dream card, you may choose a player who already has one or more bad dreams. Oh, that's just piling on. That's mean. Philanthropist Super. Any player to whom you give an encounter card, they must play it in that encounter if they can. I'm so tempted. The Philanthropist Super is one of the best supers in the game. I did it. Yeah, Philanthropist just came back. I know. Argue with me. Fine. Go ahead. Controversy. There's controversy here. All right. Siren versus Sycophant. Or Sycophant, as a teenage David once said. Siren. We got to look up the artwork here. See, that's pretty good artwork. I like the siren artwork. I'm not the biggest fan of the sycophant artwork. I mean, it's interesting to incorporate the loser. Ghoul already had its moment. I like the siren better. I'm gonna go siren on the art there. Let's go to powers. So siren, anytime a player in whose home system you have a colony is chosen as the defense, you may use this power to aim the hyperspace gate at one of your home planets on which you have a colony, your choice, and become the defense instead. Anytime you win as the defense, you immediately gain a free foreign colony in the offense's home system, thus furthering your potential to use your power. The sycophant, you get 10 tokens on your sheet. You get to flatter somebody. If you're not the main player after alliances are formed, you can use this power to flatter one of the main players, even if you're allied against them. If the player you flatter wins or makes a deal, discard 1 token from the sheet. And there's no consequences if you don't. And I feel like for balance purposes, there should have been a consequence if you failed. But, yeah, sycophant, very... they only have to get it right 10 times. Both very good powers. But it's tough to win on defense. You do not get a lot of allies. Sycophant, I'm giving you the points. Timing window, Siren just takes a little bit to get going. Sycophant gets it faster. And let's go flavor text here. Sycophant history. Eager to please all the other species in the system, the sycophants do whatever they can to ingratiate themselves into as many alien societies as possible. The sycophant's philosophy is simple. Flattery is the sincerest form of flattery. And flattery leads to victory. Sort of. I like that. That's good. Siren. Born on a planet of beauty and illusion, the siren entices unsuspecting travelers into her traps. Seduced by her call, the luckless guests are totally unaware of the destruction awaiting them. Fits Greek myth. Absolutely. To a T. Sycophant's better. And that's our one blowout today. Don't get me wrong. I like Siren. I will gladly play Siren. But Sycophant just took that and beat Siren up. So, we are now to the top 16. We've got Sorcerer, Magician, Pentaform, Tortoise, Loser, Volch, Explorer, Inferno, Assistant, Lizard, the Cult, Remora, Human, Ghoul, Philanthropist, and Sycophant. Okay. 15 more matches to determine a winner. Probably 2 more videos. And we will be done. All right. Thank you all for watching. I know this one was another long one. Hopefully, well, the next one will also be long. But we'll do the entire top 16 next time. And then I think the last video will be the quarter, semi, and finals. So, all right. Thank you. Thank you again. Appreciate your time. And until next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care.